Good morning. It is Saturday, December 3rd. Got up today and I am getting myself back in the habit of getting groceries each week because when I didn't have the car, I kind of got out of that habit. But I got the car, and so I need to get regular groceries again, right? Right? So, heading into Costco. And a quick trip to Costco later, and I have some groceries so that I can eat this week. Also, instead of, eating sitting there at their cafe, I got one of their pizzas to take home again. I did this once before, and I think I decided it was not as good, but I can't remember why, and so I did it again. Because it sounded more convenient to just get to come home and eat than have to sit there in the Costco. I mean, I ate it all, so it wasn't like it was terrible. But I do remember thinking, this is not as good as when it is there. I don't remember why. And so I think the issue is that it's like less greasy, because it goes like one pizza into the cardboard box instead of the pizza onto the metal tray where the last half dozen pepperoni pizzas have sat. So maybe it's just that it's not sitting in grease under a heat lamp for ages. And of course that'll make things not as good. Maybe a little better to eat, though. I don't know. I also recall it didn't heat up great, which as I only ate maybe half of the pizza, not ideal. But whatever. It is more comfortable to sit at home and watch YouTube while eating than to be in the Costco. But I only got like 2 hours until folks show up for HeroQuest, so I'm going to start getting things set up. So getting things set up for the game. And today we are playing the final quest of the base game. And so just one quest. There's an even number. We played 3 the first time we gamed and 2 every other time, so we got 1 remaining. But because of that, I'm able to just look at the quest and see like what I actually need. So instead of taking out all of the furniture that most of it isn't used, or many of the enemies that aren't used, I'm not. Now that does tell the players, perhaps, as they look over what's sitting around the Zargon screen, what's coming up. So maybe I do take a couple of the Dread Warriors out, even though I don't need them. Just because they're threatening to have sitting there, when they know anytime they could open a door and there's 3 Dread Warriors. Ooh, scary. So I'll do that. But other than that, yeah, just taking out what I need. So the plan being to play this quest. So we will finish this and then have them take a look at what the other hero options are and decide if any of them, when we move on to probably Kellar's Keep, is I guess the next one we'll do. I think it could be either Kellar's Keep or Return of the Witch Lord. If they would prefer to do the other one first, fine. But discuss with them, hey, do you want to switch heroes as we go to that? And they might. So to let them look at the options. But yeah, so just recording 1 episode today. But I guess, at the very least, since I'm not pulling out everything, it's not quite as much setup and teardown. We're getting ready. And with 20 minutes to spare, I got everything set up, except the camera. I gotta get it put back on the tripod and realigned. Which I have to put it on the tripod and align it in order to get like the table in the right spot. And then, because I'm still vlogging, I take it off. Then I have to put it back. I need a second one of these cameras. That's what I need. Anyways, folks will be here soon. We'll finish up the base HeroQuest game at last. So we got through HeroQuest. They won. I did not manage to kill them.
Take that, Magnus. The wizard sat there and,
tanked. The wizard tanked to the end.
Just sitting there chugging potions. Let's go!
I bet you
As I'm like, I'm not going to get through the elf. I might get through the wizard.
Stab him! Stab him now!
But we sat around and we decided, you know, who's going to play what. And because the ending text at the end of the adventure kind of sets forth both of the next adventures, we've decided to split the party, and so they'll try some new heroes, some in one, some in the other. And I think that's going to be cool.
It's a great plan.
I like it. I like it. I do. It gets the new heroes some trying, but also doesn't put you in with, like they said, we could just have all of us go to one and then all new heroes on the other. And I'm like, ooh.
It gives us that safety net, or some old geared up heroes.
Yep, and also makes it worth it where, you know, okay, I'm giving up all my gear for this adventure, but I'll have that gear that I built up then later, and then as we go into, you know, assuming we move further on beyond that, then you have a couple to choose from with. But, yeah. Otherwise, by the time my brother and nephew left, I'd already gotten the game cleared up. We're discussing possibility of maybe other board games to play, because I want to try and do something else before we get into the next HeroQuest. Just to give me options. So one of the things I brought up with my buddies before they left is that before we do the next HeroQuest, I want to do my brother's Mutants and Masterminds Order of Heroes sessions, which means I need to finish prepping for them. And I also want, at least potentially, to do some other board game. Maybe Lords of Waterdeep, maybe Munchkin, maybe something else. But those are the two that I have been working on. Because like I said it like, and I want to be able to just have it where I can just have like a generic frame that just works. So I can just be ready for it. But as I played around with it, it's not going to work because the boards are all different sizes and shapes. And so really it has to kind of be a custom frame for each size board. It's just what it has to be. So, I was like, okay. But there is something that I learned, that I noticed while working with the Stream Deck. I got the Stream Deck. One of the things I learned is about like the different filters that I can put on like a camera. And I noticed that there were some options that would allow me to do a mask. So I now have masked images for both of these boards. Which is to say, there's an angle, and previously I just had to have things be fat. The current graphics, say for this, are fat at the top because this is a rectangle that goes from this corner right here straight up, and so I have to have this be really fat because it's covering over the table there. By doing a mask, I don't have to do that. I didn't know that was, like, I didn't know how to do that until I was messing around with options from the Stream Deck. I was like, oh, there's a button here I never noticed before. What does this button do? Oh. So, I'm like, I'm not ready at this point to do the work to make the graphics for those games. But I did the work for both Munchkin and Lords of Waterdeep, just core game, to put the board in and to make the mask so that I can then have that screenshot like I just did with a general still from some previous game with the image in front of it, which is what I use to then make the lower thirds based on. So when that time comes, I'm ready to do it. So, and the reason I wanted to do that much is because that's the part that requires the table being in position, and so before moving the table, I wanted to do that, basically. So I got that done. I'll clean up Munchkin. Oh, maybe think about food. I might just heat up more of that pizza. And the pizza already doesn't look as appetizing reheated. I don't know. Maybe thinking like that's going to make sure that I say, oh yes, it doesn't reheat as well, but either way. And the pizza didn't heat up great. But it wasn't as bad as like I remembered. Like I remembered thinking, gee, this just isn't that good. It was fine. I mean, it was as, you know, close to as good as whatever a frozen pizza. So for $10, basically filling all of my meals for today, not bad. It wasn't great food, but that's a pretty affordable, you know, averaging, what, $5 a meal? That ain't bad. But yeah, so, otherwise, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I didn't do that much today, but I did the shopping, and I got the last of the HeroQuest videos for this segment filmed. Hung out with friends and family, and managed to also come up with ideas and plans for moving forward with some videos, even if things weren't directly implemented with them. I don't know. I did alright. But there is so much to do that I have not done. Oh well. I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you for joining me, and join me as my journey continues.